Okay, we've got our corner closet framing. This is the top plate here, and the others on the that are in line are the bottom plate. And so what you do is we just need to stud these. We'll put 2 studs here, and then that'll be the bottom, and then we'll put this on top of the 2 framing studs. Then we have the door opening. The 2 studs, one will go right there, and the other one will be over here on the edge for the door jamb. Same thing over here. 1 stud here, 1 stud there, 2 on that one. So we'll have 3 framing pieces that we're going to put up. So let me put all this together. One thing you want to do before you cut your studs is you automatically subtract 3 inches. So if you're floor to ceiling, this doesn't include any carpet or anything, floor to ceiling is usually 96 inches. Now every house is different. So if you want to do 96 subtract 3, that'd be 93, and then you want to subtract another 1/2 inch, because once you build these walls you need that 1/2 inch clearance to stand them up. And I'll explain that here in a few minutes. Okay, in your small pieces you want to make sure you drill some holes before you put nails or screws, either one, because this thing is so small. If you don't drill a hole, what's going to happen? It's going to split down the grain. So you want to drill holes in both of them, and then we start nailing everything together. Hopefully I got enough sunlight to show you the finished product. Okay, see, we got the 2 small pieces nailed in. We've got the 2 regular studs, and both of these come up to the, see, these are the so-called bottom plate here. That one's the bottom plate, that's the bottom plate. This is where it makes that turn. This is your door opening. And then we've got 2 shorter ones. I've cut these 81 plus the bottom plate would make it 82.5, which that would give us clearance for the top of the door. And then we'll put another stud here in the center of that. So we'll nail all this together here in a minute, and that'll be a 26-inch opening for a 24-inch door. And like I said in the past, the 26-inch opening is a regular door, like a 2-foot door, and then you just add 2 inches. And that's for the 1 inch on each side, plus a little clearance for the jambs. The reason we put 3 studs in there is, okay, this one, the first one will tie in to the next wall. The center one is the support for this door that goes in next to it, because you use 2 studs next to a door just to keep them from warping, and plus it gives you the strength, plus it gives you the plenty of room to nail your trim on. And on this, there's no need to put a header, because we're not building we don't need the strength, we just need the opening. And you could put 2 2x4s flat ways across. What that does, that just gives you a little bit extra room for trim to nail to. And then of course your top plate. Okay, we've got our door frame ready. You can see we have a stud at an angle, then we have a stud, and then we have our trimmer. Same thing on this side. You can see the angle of that last stud, And then in the middle got a stud, and then on the end we got the trimmer. That's for the door, and the width is 26 inches. Now if we go up to the close to the top, now being that this is not a load bearing wall or anything, we don't necessarily need a regular header in there. We can just put just a trimmer across, or just a plate across there. That's just for our trim. Have something for our trim to be nailed to. Then we've got a stud here in the center. That's just to hold our sheetrock, keep it from tin canning. Then we have our top plate, and you can see the angles of those two. That was what I was showing you. And then, as I was showing you earlier about the two bottom plates that went on top, see, this is these two small ones that I showed you that we had on the ground that showed the door opening. Okay, and now we have the two sides. You can see the angle on that one come across there. We got the straight one, that's the one that goes against the wall. We have our three studs, two on each side, one in the middle. And what these two do is, these angled ones are the ones that will nail to our door frame. Same thing at the top. Got our top plate. Okay, and then we have this one here. I put the center stud in there, but this is not going to be a permanent. Okay, so we have our angle, got our angled stud. Got our wall stud. Come down, same thing. Come over here. So this is our other wall stud. Alright, we're going to set up and put them together. Okay, you can see we've got our three pieces in here. We got our door framing, got our left side, got our right side, Now what we're doing, we're taking our first stud that's going against the wall, and of course this doesn't have a top plate, but what you do, you'd run a screw like you do in this bottom plate, and you do the exact same thing in the top plate. You run a screw through there to hit that bottom plate there, and then you do the same thing up above. You run a screw in there to hit that top plate. The one that's really important right now is you want to make sure your first wall is perfectly level, because now we're fixing to monkey around with the rest of it. We're going to be moving everything around, and if we don't have that first one secured, then everything else is going to come undone. And then when we get over here to this last one, then we want to make sure it's level. See, this is where the two plates come together at the bottom. This one will come up. We won't level anything else yet until we get this other. Now we're fixing to put this other plate in here, or other wall, excuse me. Okay, there again we come over with the 48 inches. Now this was going to be plus or minus, because like I said, the framing, you're allowed 1/4 of an inch, so we may have to move it one way or another.